Yes, my friend?
I was just settling in and reviewing my latest findings. Mind flayers, cultists, and, of course, your esteemed company.
Finding is my job, my friend. If there's anything in the world worth knowing, I assure you, I do. Why, I'm practically an expert. They've tentacles, you know? Quite shocking.
The druid Halson had some kind of mind flare specimen in a jar in his quarters. A replica, no doubt, but truly fascinating to see up close.
As a matter of fact, I do. But why do you?
That can't be. You're either an excellent storyteller, or you've experienced something quite exceptional. Tell me, have you noticed any residual psionic malaise since the alleged encounter? Curious. Illithids, their technical name, form a hive mind. One shouldn't be able to hear their dark whispers unless... That's quite impossible. You'd have undergone ceramorphosis by now. I can't attest to the specifics, but I do know that not long after insertion, the host, that's you, turns into a mind flayer. As there's not a tentacle on your head, I can only assume you haven't been infected. If what you say were true, you'd be a mind flayer by now. You? Infected by a mind flayer? Ridiculous. Isn't it? Still, there'd be no harm in me taking a teensy look, would there? I know all the signs. If I just peer in your eye, I could quickly... Oh, dear sweet gods! I mean, yes. I suppose I can. I'll need to research the particulars, however. Give me a bit of time, and I'll have this little issue sorted.
Damn it all to the hells. We left Joaquin's Rest to burn, and Grand Duke Ravengard to burn along with it. Shit. 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 In a manner of speaking, Duke Ravengard is my father. Because our relation was no matter of pride, not least for him. I was close to my father once, until he disowned me and cast me out of Baldur's Gate. Hells, he may have made me an exile, but my heart aches to think we abandoned him to the flames. No, this can't be his end. Father's vanquished dragon cultists and assassins alike with his own bastard sword. A Ravengard is not ruined by fire nor blood. A Ravengard survives. courage and confidence. You would have made a fine son to my father. Me? Well, I've never been able to escape my father's name, try as I might. When I look into a mirror, I see two faces. I see the Blade of Frontiers, a man hunting the fiends who prey on the weak and claw at the coast. And I see Will Ravengard, a memory of a memory, a man who belongs to the past. I wanted you to know the Blade, not the shadow he left behind. There is, but I can't tell you more. The pact forbids it. I'm all for it. He brings to mind a story. The Devil with the Silver Tongue. An old fairy tale my father read to me. The kind with a hero, a villain, and a moral. A farmer made a deal with the devil, so the story goes. In exchange for the farmer's dearest fruit, the devil granted him a bottomless coin purse. The farmer's dearest fruit, naturally, was no apple nor peach, but his beloved daughter. We can learn a lot from fairy tales, don't you think? Refuse him, no matter how tempting the offer, no matter how delicious the feast he lays out for you. The cost will be too great. That's because you still have hope. But when he becomes your last hope, remember this. He'll require of you only what you're least ready to part with, and then require more still. You might think you'd give up anything for a cure, but the devil won't take just anything. He'll take everything. A most vicious one, in fact. It's made from pure bloodstone, carved from the Galena Mountains just north of the Moonsea. A reminder that sometimes blood must be shed and sacrifices must be made. But that story is reserved for lifetime friends and calmer days.
Tiny grooves spider across the eye's surface. It resembles a sanding stone used to confer with distant contacts.
A sending stone? Nothing so special, I assure you.
You watch and listen for signs of deceit, but sense nothing unusual.
My father once said, "One does not pursue a champion's life. One merely answers its call." So it was for me. After my exile, I was hunting near the Cloakwood. I heard a child crying out from a lone farmstead. I found him in the fields, flanked by goblins. His mother's corpse bled into the soil next to him. I don't remember much of the battle, but I remember drying the boy's tears after. I left him with his uncles. 5 years on, and he's flourishing. If only every child was so lucky. I mourn the ones I could never save, whose cries I never heard. In the boy's tears, I finally saw the suffering wrought by the villains of the wild. The frontiers demanded a blade, and so I heeded. And it's nice to meet someone of your talents. Having a worm wriggling in my skull didn't instill much confidence in the days ahead. With you as my ally, the future looks a little less daunting. Not so enchanting as you'd think. The Portiers, the Caldwells, they were the blue bloods hosting the fancy balls and drinking from gold goblets. Father's the son of a blacksmith, born with barely a coin in the coffers. He made a name for himself among the Flaming Fist, brave as Baldur'S, stubborn as a deep rothe, daring, outspoken, but hardly posh. I spent more time dueling with Father than I did rubbing elbows with lords. Not to say I didn't develop a taste for good wine and the talent for courtly dance. Yes and no. Father taught me the 4 pillars of power: courage, insight, strategy, justice. He reckoned I'd follow in his footsteps. First as a fist marshal, then as a duke. Vanquish evil, maintain order, save the world. But a duke makes bedfellows with more monsters than he slays. Father called it diplomacy. I called it hypocrisy. In the frontiers, there is no posturing, no diplomacy. I slay monsters. I don't consort with them. Well, not when I can avoid it.
Oakfather's blessings to you. Wonderfully. If I'm honest, the grove was too comfortable for my tastes. I felt removed from nature. I'll miss my books, but I can find all the wisdom they contain out here, firsthand. Is that so? Well, nature does abhor waste. I will keep watch, thank you. I had a feeling time in your company would prove fruitful.
Fate spins along as it should. Dost thou require a new ally? Or mayhaps a resurrection instead? That is where I was housed, yes. And thou needst not know why. There are many answers to that question. None are important. Correct. No.
The air is heavy. Moisture drips down your forehead. Pain shoots through your fingers. Your hands shake as they reach upward. Your forehead remains drenched no matter how much you wipe.
Chukil gate vlaketh mazathok. Can you feel it crawling through you? Tendrils squirming in your chest, gripping your heart, piercing your belly. Your bones popping, your flesh swelling. I can. I see it in you. I feel it in me. We are lost. I will be quick with my blade. First you, then the others. Then, myself.
Your minds intertwine. You sense a touch of uncertainty, a touch of disgust. Your mind lurches, reeling suddenly as if bitten. Lae'zel's fear grips you. Not fear of death, but fear of insignificance. The great warrior Lae'zel, a failure to her kind. She will wield no silver sword, ride no red dragon. Forever unknown to the great Lich Queen Vlakith.
I will not let the Geich take me. I will earn Vlakith's honor. I will wait. But know this. I am watching. If the sickness does not pass come dawn, I will end us all.
Came just in time. You are transforming. Your salvation. And not for the first time. I saved you before. To save you again. Don't worry. You will not become a mind flayer. Not while I'm around. I'll protect you. We haven't much time, so listen closely. There is great potential within you. It comes from that parasite. Your instinct is to resist the power it gives, but you must accept it. Nurture it. I will keep it from consuming you. But for the sake of both of us, you must learn to wield it. Fight for the fate of Faerun. A fight we are losing. For now. You can change that. But only if you embrace your potential. I have to go. The enemy is closing in. I will be back. You'll feel better. I promise. This one is a true soul parasite. It can enhance you. You can absorb its potential. Open your mind to it. You already know how.
Your mind swells as it subsumes everything that Tadpole has to offer. Everything it was and everything it was destined to be. Pure potential. Pure power.
Good. You have grown your power and improved your chances of survival.
Eager for battle.
Is that blood? No. do.
My friend! How do you fare? My research turned up a rather brilliant technique that seems quite actionable.
It's not too deep. Just behind the orbital socket. I could attempt an extraction. I've a needle in my tunic, after all. You won't find a more learned opinion on this matter, I assure you. As you wish, my friend. When the transformation occurs, I can only hope you are far away from me.
You know, I've been thinking, and I think there's something I should tell you. Nothing big or terrible, just a small little detail about me that hasn't come up naturally. It's just that I happen to be a... what's the best way to put this? A vampire. And by rights, I should be cinders, blowing in the wind. But something's protecting me. The same something that's kept us from turning into mind flayers, no doubt. But that's neither here nor there. What matters is everything's out in the open now. Because we trust each other. Exactly. I knew I could rely on you. Just like you can rely on me. Now, was there anything else? Why do you insist on exhuming the past? I was a slave. A vampire spawn. Kept by the Tsar family. Perhaps I still am. I was never able to resist their commands. But now... I've been conveniently lost. They won't ever control me again. It's simple. Just find a vampire that will drink your blood and turn you into a vampire spawn. Their obedient puppet. In theory, the next step is to drink their blood. Once you've done that, you're free, and a true vampire. Yes and no. The problem is, once you're a vampire spawn, they completely control you. They have to allow you to bite them. And why would they do that? Vampires are power-hungry creatures. They won't lose a servant to create a competitor. Trust me. it doesn't happen. Perhaps if you lost a follower or two, I prefer to travel in smaller groups. It's more intimate. In that case, I'd be happy to tag along. Trust no one.
glad these things have stayed interesting.
Keep a blade close.
Looking ahead.
Amicus animus. Vidéo veritata.
I've got a long road ahead.
Powerful. What can it do once it's extracted?
Nothing good can come of it unless it is contained. Why?
It might be useful. Who knows?
You've tracked me down again, my friend. Would that I had as much luck with the beast I'm hunting.
You're a monster hunter. I'm surprised. I thought all Ger were vagrant cutthroats.
What?
What?
It isn't possible.
You idiot! What have you done?
There? I'm afraid you're wrong.
No escape.
Bye forever, pal.
Can't even catch my breath. Good. Again.
Unleash me. Outflank. Outsmart.
Imperoctisi.
Watch this.
How thoroughly invigorating it is to stand by one's friend in the face of danger.
Let's hope it doesn't come back to bite me later.
From sweet woodland to stinking swamp. Can you do tricks like that, Gale?
Easiest thing in the world. Though I'd do it the other way around.
I can just walk into homes now. This gets better and better.
Your desire.
Still breathing, despite everything.
Here lies Connor, beloved husband, and a tasty little morsel to boot.
Transforming into a mind flayer might have its perks. At least then I can float over this muck.
Not one for roughing it, I see.
Wallowing in filth is for pigs and children, my dear.
Pigs, children, and people with a little bit of grit. the sky again.
Fear not, Karlak. Sun, ours will still be there, waiting for us.
Meanwhile, this place is pretty spectacular, isn't it?
No book or painting could ever do its strange beauty justice. But perhaps our stories might, when we return to the surface.